Hey, yo, folks. This today, it's Tuesday, and we are going to talk about the Sandra Birchmore case, or the results of the Sandra Birchmore case, to be sorry, there, because things are getting heated in Stoughton, Massachusetts. The town manager has now been caught, allegedly, trying to delete or destroy evidence surrounding the Sandra Birchmore case. If you're not familiar with the Sandra Birchmore case, I don't blame you. It has gone a little bit under the radar, but it is probably one of the worst miscarriages of the worst case of police corruption. Sandra Birchmore, age 13, joined the local police youth club. She dreamt of being a police officer. That was a childhood dream. In that youth club, one of the, what you call it, instructors was Matthew Farwell. And Matthew Farwell, when he looked out over these group of kids, boys and girls, ages 12 to 15, he saw this 13-year-old girl and decided to do something bad to her. Matthew Farwell started to groom her. And at age 15, he started to rape her. It doesn't stop there. This evolved to him sharing Sandra with his twin brother, also police officer. Not long thereafter, she was shared in the Stoughton Police Department with several of the cops. Years down the line, Sandra Birchmore became pregnant. Matthew Farwell panicked because he was married with kids. Kid on the way. Matthew Farwell sent either a text or called her. Let's meet up for an encounter. Matthew Farwell was caught on camera going into Sandra Birchmore's building. He was caught going out of Sandra Birchmore's building. In that time frame, Sandra Birchmore, her life was ended. She was staged as it was a self-ending. And when she was found days later, that was what the local cops went with. Self-ending. This was her family fought for years because they knew Sandra Birchmore, despite everything she's gone through or been through, she was looking forward to becoming a mother. She had ordered baby stuff. She talked to colleagues about the prospect of becoming a mother. When they found Sandra Birchmore, her apartment was not in a disarray, but she had put laundry in. So there was so everything on that scene should have told them this is weird. But these were the police officers who knew about Matthew Farwell and decided to look the other way. When her family went there after Sandra's remains was removed and everything, they had to clean it out. They found her broken necklace under the bed. The amount it took the family years of effort and money, and with the help of a world-renowned medical examiner, they found that especially it was one of the bones in the throat that doesn't get injured during self-ending, but that gets injured if it's out of strangulation. That caught the attention of the feds. And not long after, Matthew Farwell was arrested. They found, once they went through Sandra's and Matthew's and the electronic devices, they found 32,000 messages between Matthew Farwell and Sandra Birchmore, proving him a PDF. Everything was there in plain sight. This is stuff that the MSP, the Massachusetts State Police, missed. The people who investigated Sandra Birchmore's murder was included, but not limited to, Detective Lieutenant Tully, Lieutenant Fanning, and others. There's a huge overlap between this Sandra Birchmore investigation and the Karen Read investigation. The same people who botched Sandra Birchmore's investigation are the same people who helped frame Karen Read. Some years went by. Stoughton got a new chief of police. Chief of Police Donna McNamara. Donna McNamara tried to clean out the bad apples. She has cooperated with the feds in their investigation. And this, the town manager of Stoughton, he couldn't have that, not to his proud town. So for quite some time, Thomas Coulter, the town manager, allegedly, have tried to order evidence destroyed that McNamara has collected. Recently, the town of Stoughton announced publicly that Chief McNamara voluntarily has stepped down. Chief Donna McNamara says, this is a lie. There is nothing voluntarily with this. And now, Donna McNamara is suing the town of Stoughton and Thomas Coulter. What we are going to go through now is that lawsuit. So this is the Commonwealth of Massachusetts Superior Court Department, Civil Action number blah, 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 Norfolk, Donna McNamara plaintiff versus Town of Stoughton and Thomas C. Coulter, defendant. This was published July 26. No, July 27th. Yesterday. This here, folks, will contain some interesting stuff. And folks, there are a lot of antis out there. There are, despite everything, there are even people out there who will defend Matthew Farwell. There are people in Stoughton who more or less says Sandra brought it on herself. That she should not have seduced Matthew Farwell at age 13. These are people who barely has human worth for me. If and I am trying to find out the actual names, not just the X handles and stuff. Your names and faces will be fucking out there, you sickos. And I will find you. Sooner or later, I will fucking find you, and I'm going to plaster your name and your face on the fucking internet as the fucking retard sickos you are. But that is for another day. All right. Verified complaint and jury demand. An introduction. This complaint arose out of the defendants, Town of Stoughton, and Thomas C. Carter's unlawful actions toward plaintiff, Stoughton Police Chief Donna M. McNamara, ineffectively and unlawfully stripping her of her contractual right to be the police chief for the town and serve the citizens of this community. Less than 48 hours after Chief McNamara filed a harassment complaint with the Stoughton Select Board against Carter, their current selection for town manager, the town issued a statement to the media naming an acting Stoughton police chief and claiming Chief McNamara had voluntarily stepped down from her duties, which is not true. Chief McNamara's harassment complaints against Carter alleges that he has been engaging in a pattern of gossip and disparagement against her, while also calling and texting her on a cell phone virtually every day for the 2 weeks prior to her complaint in an attempt to intimidate her into resigning from her position. Defendants are prohibiting Chief McNamara from doing her duties even though, to date, they have provided no lawful reason to do so. Meanwhile, Carter continues a relentless campaign to assassinate her reputation through a pattern of legally actionable and misogynistic words and conduct against the town's first female police chief and only female officer, which must end with this court action. And then you have the jurisdiction, the parties. Here's the facts, as alleged by Chief McNamara. McNamara has been employed at the Stoughton Police Department for 25 years, holding the ranks of patrol officer, detective, sergeant, patrol supervisor, lieutenant, and shift commander. In all the above capacities, she boasts an exemplary personal record. Now, in Norfolk County, that doesn't say much, but I actually believe it when it comes to Chief McNamara. In March 2016, then Stoughton Police Chief Paul Chasteny appointed McNamara as acting police chief. Then in April 2016, the Stoughton Select Board acted on to appoint McNamara to the position of interim Stoughton Police Chief. In January 2017, the Select Board permanently appointed McNamara as police chief. According to the town charter for Stoughton, the Select Board is the highest executive authority in the town and maintains the exclusive authority to appoint the police chief. McNamara's rise through the ranks to police chief for the town marks the first and only time that a woman has been promoted in the Stoughton Police Department, a fact McNamara takes seriously. At present, there are 10 women employed by the police department, and none of them holds an officer rank. McNamara just recently signed her third 3-year contract with the Stoughton Select Board and was contemplating retirement at the end of the contract after 2028, having fulfilled her duties faithfully. In her capacity as Stoughton Police Chief, she has worked with numerous town managers who are appointed by the Select Board, including Carter, who became employed by the town in December of 2022. Pursuant to her current employment contract, McNamara may resign from her position at any time, or the Select Board can terminate her employment with or without cause, subject to the process set forth in that document. In a role as the head of the Stoughton Police Department, McNamara directs all administrative and operational functions within the Stoughton Police Department, oversees the daily activity of all personnel, supervises and directs investigations of allegations of police misconduct and violations of policy and regulations, develops, prepares, and administers the annual budget, yada, yada, yada. Which also means that McNamara was acting police chief during the events of Sandra Birchmore's ending. She has an exemplary and That said, Carter has made it clear throughout his time in Stoughton as its town manager that he does not believe the police chief position should be filled by a woman. McNamara's vision for the Stoughton Police Department has been one of integrity, transparency, and service. Carter has consistently over the past 4 years undermined and circumvented McNamara, make it instrumentally more difficult for her to execute this vision. So Carter has been a long-time member of the Select Board and now appointed town manager. There has been multiple instances over the years in which McNamara has held a different opinion from Carter regarding Stoughton Police Department operations, and when she expects such, it has been met with hostility, yelling, and threats. There have been numerous instances in which Carter has attempted to interfere with McNamara's police investigations and influence their outcomes. For example, in December 2024 and again in April 2025, Carter attempted to insert himself into investigation involving complaints filed by Stoughton employees against Stoughton citizens, which McNamara did not permit. When McNamara went against Carter's choice for a promotion because of that male employee's long history of misconduct, he threatened to cut the police department's legal budget. When McNamara instituted training based on her knowledge of the needs of her department, she was met with resistance and angry, threatening calls from Carter, who stated that the department had had enough training. Carter has consistently circumvented McNamara's authority during her tenure under him by dealing directly with other male-ranking officers or male police union presidents on matters related to Stoughton Police Department's operations, deliberately sidestepping her in favor of these male, less qualified colleagues. The sidestepping has become so pervasive that McNamara has been forced to instruct at least one of her male colleagues to attempt to halt Carter's advances. Folks, for you who know, or maybe you don't know, hi, I'm Nick. I do labor and employment law. This, what she describes here, is not unusual. There are, sadly, a lot of men who are intimidated by competent women. And so yeah, I'm not surprised at all by reading this. At all. In February 2021, prior to Carter's arrival in Stoughton, McNamara spearheaded an internal investigation of the Stoughton Police Department, which was conducted by one of her male officers. The officers report named 3 former Stoughton police officers who had an inappropriate sexual relationship with a young woman named Sandra Birchmore. Now we are getting into the Sandra Birchmore case. So 3 male officers. The Farwell twins and Robert Devine. There are allegedly more, but unnamed. Sandra Birchmore, who started out as an underage member of the Stoughton Police Explorers program, that's the youth club, and who had been found pregnant, mutilated, and deceased under clearly questionable circumstances in February 2021. One of these officers, Matthew Farwell, has been indicted by a federal grand jury for the ending of Sandra Birchmore and her unborn baby. And his trial is upcoming. Yeah, that is the feds who are charging Matthew Farwell. The state, Norfolk County under Morrissey, refuses. Because if there's anything Morrissey will do, he will always help cover up police officers doing crimes, including but not limited to the Karen Reed case and the Sandra Birchmore case. Michael Morrissey will protect murderous cops, PDF cops, anything. Why? Your guess is as good as mine. Your guess is as good as mine. Why would anybody protect child rapist cops? You can try to ask him. Here's the thing. Normally, I say, do not contact the people we are talking about. Mr. Morrissey is a public person. He is the current acting district attorney in Norfolk County. I don't give 2 shits on a straw if you contact him or not. Let's continue. On September 23rd, 2022, McNamara held a press conference and announced the results of the above investigation. She also made the report accessible to the public. In 2024, McNamara initiated a second internal investigation of a police department involving Birchmore. At the conclusion of this investigation, a report was issued, and on several occasions, Carter demanded that McNamara destroy it, referring to it as a hit piece. Why would Carter demand that evidence of grooming, rape, and the subsequent murder, that evidence of that should be destroyed? Your guess is as good as mine. But in my personal opinion, not legal opinion, personal opinion, the only people who defend child rapists are people who dream of becoming one themselves. That's my opinion. So, Carter, if you feel offended by my words, go fuck yourself. All the way to hell. You corrupt shithead. McNamara refused to violate department policies and protocols. She did not and has not destroyed this report, which greatly displeases Carter. In June 2026, during a meeting between McNamara and Carter regarding Matthew Farwell's upcoming federal murder trial, McNamara put Carter on notice that she had been cooperating with the FBI in this case, and that she believes that, as a result of the FBI's trial preparation and testimony involving current and also former Stoughton Police Department employees, new misconduct issues may arise necessitating internal affairs investigations of her employees, and that she intends to comply with department policies and protocols and conduct such investigations as necessary. On July 6, 2026, Carter's assistant contacted McNamara by phone to set up an unexpected meeting between her and Carter for the following day, July 7th, 2026. On July 7th, Carter and McNamara met at his office. During this meeting, town council and Carter informed McNamara that a member of the department had allegedly contacted them directly, accusing her of berating him and causing him stress at work. With no investigation or attempt at fact-finding, Carter informed McNamara that she must resign with dignity or face immediate termination. This is textbook retaliation. She does not do what they want, destroying evidence of police officers raping minors. She cooperates with the FBI in their investigation against Matthew Farwell. And Carter, as the town manager, and I assume the entirety of, what do they call it? The town chapter house, whatever they call it, all of them wants to bury this. Why? Well, as I stated earlier, the only people who wants to cover up child essay are people who dream of doing it themselves. This complaint, if it even exists, had not been investigated, and it would represent the first formal complaint issued against McNamara during her entire career with the department. Carter ended the meeting by informing McNamara that she was not to go to work or enter the police station on or off hours without his approval, and that she could use her own accrued time to cover her absence from work, which she has reluctantly done to date. He did not ask for a badge or service weapon and allowed her to drive a cruiser home so that she did not have to walk. Sadly, this is the power of the town manager. It's in the contract. Problem is, when it comes to contracts with or without cause, is here Carter is a fucking moron. Because he mentioned a cause. As soon as you mention a cause, you can't go back on it. This civil suit here will, in my opinion, will force this child essay defender Carter to hand over what he claims is the cause. This complaint, alleged complaint. And if that complaint is from a person, let's say it's an actual police officer. If that police officer is one of the people who were investigated for raping Sandra Birchmore, then we have more evidence against this sicko town manager Carter. McNamara left this meeting in a state of confusion. He has served the town of Stoughton for 25 years and takes great pride in rising through the ranks to become police chief. McNamara has been forced to call in sick each day she has been scheduled since July 7th, 2026. Carter scheduled a follow-up meeting with McNamara to occur on July 9th for the purpose of discussing McNamara's decision. However, on July 8th, this meeting was postponed and not rescheduled. After that meeting, which occurred exactly 1 year after she signed her third contract as chief in early July 2026, co-workers, friends, and family members began to report to McNamara that they were hearing rumors that she was never coming back and was fired. This was all news to her. McNamara called in sick July 8th, July 9th. When she called in sick July 9th, McNamara spoke to department employees who informed her that Carter had told him about the discussion she had with Carter on July 7th, and Carter told him Donna will not be coming back to work. Folks, if I was involved in this case, let's say that Donna McNamara was my client. And again, for you who don't know, hi, I'm Nick. I've been doing labor and employment law for close to 35 years. Write down everything. The employees write it down, what Carter have said. I assume this Miss Donna McNamara has representation that is already going on doing this. I assume this because I believe she hired good representation. But what I would collect all of this. First, the alleged cause. Oh, and everything surrounding it. Because this is textbook retaliation. You can do that. Even in an at-will state, what is happening here, you can't do. Because Carter, the defender of child rapists, is a moron. Because this is he's a big fish in a small puddle. He believes he's untouchable. Nobody's untouchable. One of my favorite things to do when given the opportunity, and I have legal reasons to do it, is to ruin these people. It will probably earn me a place in hell eventually. I don't know. But I really enjoy destroying these fuckers. People like Coulter, I have no issues running them to the ground, walking all over them. And Mr. Coulter, you don't have the police union behind you. Now, the police union are a bitch to deal with, for better and worse. For better and worse. Coulter doesn't. He has this town attorney. I love town attorneys. They take this position. Hey, this is swell. And then they meet somebody like me. Almost getting goosebumps over here. Sorry, folks. Sorry. Let's get back to this. On July 10th, when McNamara called in sick to work, she spoke to a department employee who informed her that Carter had come to the police station for a meeting with all of the male commanders. During this meeting, Carter told them that Donna was on sick leave for the next week and she will not be coming back to the station ever. Great! Witnesses! All of them! Oh, you retard. She was also informed by this employee that Carter had reported to them that he had retained a consultant to begin the hiring process for a new police chief. On July 13th, Carter called and texted McNamara on her cell phone, imploring her to resign. Carter was aware at the time of this contact that McNamara had retained legal counsel. However, he did not care. She did not answer or return these messages. Yeah, Carter. The moment McNamara retained counsel, you have to deal with the counsel. You do not, at that very point, do not have the right to contact her directly. This could be witness intimidation. But Carter is a moron, which is good for McNamara because he creates the evidence against him. Again, in her contract, they can fire her with or without cause. He stated a cause. And he probably knows he fucked up. He's the town council or town attorney probably told him that. Oh, you fucked up. Oh, you fucked up. Oh, you fucked up. So he's trying to force her to resign. In that case, it doesn't really matter anymore. But McNamara, smart lady. Oh, hell no. And what does Carter do? Probably against the advice of the town attorney. Contacts her directly. Because he's a fucking moron. The defender of child rapists, Mr. Carter, is a moron. Later that same day, by 8:50 p.m., text message, Carter informed his position that McNamara was prohibited from returning to work or entering the police station on or off hours without his approval, and that she was to continue using her accrued leave, which he stated he was letting her do as a favor to her. On or about July 15, McNamara, through the undersigned counsel, informed Carter that she refused to resign and was demanding to return to work. July 14th, Carter again called McNamara on her cell phone. She did not answer. July 14th, Carter accused McNamara of going to the police station in violation of his orders and instructed department personnel to search the station cameras and keycard system, which they did, and which confirmed McNamara had in fact not been in the police station. This is Carter panicking because he knows he has fucked up. Even him, this fucking moron, knows he has fucked up, so he is actively trying to find the reasons to fire her. McNamara is a smart lady. She doesn't fall for it. July 14th, the Stoughton Select Board met and upon information and belief took no action as to McNamara. So whatever the town Stoughton Select Board, they did not order her resignation or firing or anything. On July 16th, a department employee contacted McNamara to inform her that Carter was continuing to talk disparagingly about her both inside and outside of the police station. She was informed that Carter had contacted both police unions and told them, I don't know who the next chief will be, but it won't be a woman. Yeah. She was also informed that Carter had told department personnel that McNamara had until Friday, July 17th, to decide whether to resign, which, as detailed above, was not true, because her decision to decline to resign had already been communicated to Carter on or about July 15th. On July 17th, McNamara, through the undersigned counsel, made a written demand to the town that she be permitted to return to work. On the same date, town council informed McNamara that unless she agreed to resign, the town intended to place her on administrative leave and commence an investigation. However, neither has occurred to date. Town council. Oh, you tried to intimidate her into resigning by threats? Folks, I wish I was involved in this case. I really do. This here is what I found the most rewarding in my line of law. To take one of these town councils and ruin them. I love it. I would make it hurt. And I would be smiling all the way. So, let's be professional here. Let's continue. On July 20th, McNamara filed a formal harassment complaint with the select board against Carter, alleging that he had been engaging in a pattern of gossip and disparagement against McNamara, while also calling and texting her on her cell phone virtually every day for the prior 2 weeks. Yeah, she had retained counsel. First of all, at that point in time, Carter has the choice of telling town council contacts McNamara's representation. But he is too much of a moron, so he calls her directly. Also on July 20th, the Stoughton Select Board met and took no action as to McNamara's employment. Again, the Town Select Board do not... It seems like they are trying to stay out of Carter's way somehow. On July 21st, McNamara lost access to her work email address. Retaliation. July 22nd, McNamara learned through the media that another Stoughton Police Department employee, Deputy Chief O'Connor, had been appointed acting police chief of the Stoughton Police Department. Who is this fucker? James O'Connor, okay. Let's see here. It seems like O'Connor is... It seems... Okay, so it seems like O'Connor is just caught in between. O'Connor was deputy under Chief McNamara. So it seems like it's just caught in the middle here. The media provided no details on who in the town made this appointment, or even when and where the decision was made, which is interesting because the Stoughton Select Board took no action on July 20th, but on July 22nd, apparently he was appointed. That same day, a member of the department contacted McNamara and informed her of a department-wide email Carter had sent, suggesting she had voluntarily stepped down from her position, which is untrue. More evidence against Carter. Oh, this is going to be expensive. This is going to be expensive. Also on the same day, McNamara, through undersigned counsel, questioned the town in writing regarding the lawfulness of the appointment referenced above and made a second demand to return to work. Town council replied in writing stating a select board meeting is scheduled to be held tomorrow on this matter. Oh, really? So Carter made an appointment without the approval of the town board, and now after that trying to force it through. That is my interpretation here. And that he will be in touch following that meeting. On the 23rd, the Stoughton Select Board met and took no action as to McNamara's employment, her complaint against Carter, or the appointment of the acting police chief referenced above. So the town Stoughton Select Board takes a back seat and does nothing. To date, the town has not issued charges against McNamara, commenced an investigation into her conduct, or placed her on administrative leave. Nevertheless, the town continues to prevent McNamara from performing the position to which she is contractually entitled and required, without providing her with any access or explanation for its actions. Upon information and belief, no prior male police Stoughton chief has ever been terminated for a single instance of causing stress to a subordinate. Yeah. This is the panic of Carlton. Because one officer claiming he's stressed at work because police chief makes demands. Good luck getting that through the police union and no. Good luck. As I said earlier, police unions are a bitch to be to work with, but for better or worse, in this case, go ahead. When it comes to Proctor, they abandoned him. Yeah, great. Other cases, yeah. The town has caused and is continuing to cause McNamara severe emotional distress, and Carter's ongoing smear campaign against her is affecting her reputation, which in turn may affect her ability to resume her duties effectively. And the counts are breach of contract, declaratory relief, prayer for relief, and jury demand. Oh yeah, for the love of everything, make this public jury trial. Oh, Carlton, Kilton, fuckface. Get on the stand. Folks, if this goes to trial, I'm traveling to Massachusetts because I want to see this in person. Respectfully submitted, and then you have the verifications, attachments. Here are the town meetings and everything. So the town select board, the Stoughton select board, has not officially made any decisions. It is solely the town manager, Mr. Carlton, who is being a shithead. Thomas C. Carter is being a shit. So Thomas C. Carter, the defender of child rapists, the defender of Matthew Farwell, who tries to destroy evidence, who retaliate against McNamara for working with the feds. Congratulations. Welcome to the Streisand effect, or the Afroman effect. You tried to make this go away. You tried to silence this. And now you're out in the open. Yeah. Folks, this was filed yesterday. Now the town and Thomas Carter has to reply to this. And then we go into yeah. Just as in the civil cases with involving Karen Reed and Turtleboy, this will take time. I don't mind this taking time, because as in the Karen Reed case, the longer it takes, the more evidence will be revealed. Because apparently McNamara gets her information from within the select board, from within the police precinct, because people in there are not happy with Thomas Carter, because McNamara has tried to clean up the department of the fuckery, literally, of the Farwell twins and Mr. Devine, and probably others. And she has succeeded to some extent. This, I believe, is them getting back at her through Carter and through the select board. Eventually, Thomas C. Carter's electronics will be discoverable. And for the love of fuck, FBI, time to make arrests for the corruption in the Norfolk DA's office, in local precincts. People need to go to prison. This is one of these county-wide corruption cases where the feds needs to step in. I hope they will. Now, again, the claim from the antis are that, they have closed the investigation regarding John O'Keefe. Fucker, FBI does not close investigations. It might be put on ice, never closed. Justice is coming. Justice for John O'Keefe. Justice for Sandra Birchmore. Sooner or later, they will all go down. And with some luck, I hope it will be soon. Folks, that is what I had for you for today. From me, Mr. Jingles, thank you. Thank you for allowing me to do this. Thank you for being here. Thumbs up, subscribe, do all the things. Goes to you over at Rumble as well. And as soon as there are more news about this case, I will cover it. And it will be my delight to see fuckers like Coulter and the others go down. See you in the next stream or video. Bye-bye.
Santa Claus, riding in with the winter laws. Santa Claus, Santa Claus.